Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for today's Friday Satsang program. Here today, remembering the upcoming one of the most important summer festivals of the Lord, Narasimha Dev, Chaturdashi, which is coming on the next Sunday, not the coming Sunday, next Sunday, next Sunday, which is considered the day where the love, the true love story, which has shown its success or shown its adventure over the destiny. Nowadays, especially, we see that how in the modern times, the love between a man and a woman is very much given quite importance. But unfortunately, people don't realize that love, which is being depicted, has many conditions and limitations involved. However, when they're depicting it, they may show that how that love has challenged even the destiny. But interestingly, in reality, the love of this world is conditioned by the material modes of nature. Therefore, we have to have the real understanding of this specific story or an incident which happened in the historically from the Vedic perspective. And this is a true love story. And this love story is actually defied or denied the destiny. And it has proven to be the 100% science. It is full science which has proven to be without any faults. Science of devotion, the science of bhakti. So here I would like to take the opportunity. I think the students are joining now also, a few of them. So I will Hare Krishna Vinash. Hare Krishna. So we will see from the glimpses of Vedic scripture how the love between the a devotee and the Lord has taken so many dynamic changes, and it looks like every time there is a suspense, and in that suspense it appears that the beloved, the devotee, is losing his fight against the material conditioning, material nature. But amazingly, the Lord interferes in many ways and finally interferes in a very amazing form. And he shows that how he reciprocates with the love of his devotee.
Hello.
Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Mani.
Hello.
Hare Krishna, Mani, you wanted to say something?
Wait a minute.
You have to mute your mic. How to do that? Mute the mic. Mute mic.
Hello.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So here I will share this wonderful section which of Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimha Dev, which happened in the Satya Yuga. So I hope you are able to see the screen. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. 1 minute. I am just trying to. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes. So this story of Prahlad Maharaj happened during the Satya Yuga. There are 4 yugas. In every millennium, you can say there are 4 yugas: Satya, Dwapara, Treta, and Kali. The Kali Yuga is comprised of 4,32,000 years, in which we have only just covered around 5,536 years. More is remaining. I mean, only 5,000 हिसाब से होते तो it must be 4,27,000 or 28,000 still remaining. And double of this Kali Yuga is the Dwapar Yuga. Dwa, 2 times, double of it. And triple of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. And the Satya Yuga is quadruple, 4 times of the Kali Yuga years. So this specific story of Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimha Dev, as soon as you remember Hanumanji, as soon as you see Hanumanji, you will remember Lord Ram. Similarly, as soon as you hear about Prahlad Maharaj, the immediate person who comes in the mind is Lord Narasimha Dev. Therefore, in the scriptures it is mentioned, glory is that Lord who never leaves his devotee. Glory to that Lord who never gives up the association of his devotee. And glory to that devotee who never gives up his service to the lotus feet of his Lord. So there is a two-way reciprocation and very powerful and dynamic way of reciprocation which happens between Lord and his devotee. And such stories of that Prahlad Narasimha. So this story we are depicting here and trying to understand how the love defines or denies the destiny, how love challenges the destiny. That love which is not conditioned by any material modes of nature, and that love which is 100% science. We will try to see from the life of Prahlad Maharaj. So here you see in this depiction, there is one pregnant lady whom a group of kings were arresting. This lady is not ordinary lady. She is the wife of Hiranyakashipu. All of you know, wherever there is a good, naturally there will be an opposite of the good. Evil remains there, the bad. This is not a what you called illusion, but it's a reality. Wherever you try to do some good thing, naturally the back of the mind there is some sinful tendency or activity which comes up in the mind. कुछ आ जाते हैं मन में. तो उसी प्रकार हर एक युग में भी there were demons. There were Sura and there are Asura. Sura means that Devatas. Sura are those who align with the plan of the Lord. Asura are Sura. They are the people who go against the plan of the Lord. In Satya Yuga, they used to stay in different planets. अलग-अलग ग्रह में रहते थे. But in the Treta Yuga, Lord Ram time, in the same planet but in different countries they used to stay. Like Ravana and is in the Lanka, and Lord Ram is in Ayodhya. And in the Dwapar Yuga, the Asura and Sura remain in same family. So we see the family of Kuruvamsa, we see the Kauravas and the Pandavas. But in Kali Yuga, interestingly, the Asura and Sura remains in the same body. Sometimes we behave very divinely. We behave very saintly, with a lot of compassion, kindness, and sensitive for others' feelings and other aspects. But at times we are quite demoniac, very evil-minded. We hate others. We make plans of harming others. We criticize others. Such ill qualities also sometimes come up in the same body. But in Satyuga, they were in different places. So Hiranyakashipu was considered one of the very powerful demon who denied the entire planning and governmental affairs of the Lord Vishnu. In the universal government, there are many devatas who take care of many departments. Like in a city, you have a water department, you have a fire department, you have electricity department. Like that, in the universal government, Lord Vishnu appoints many devatas. Indra is in charge for the rain department, a very important department, rains. And we see there is Varuna, is a person responsible for the oceans. Vayu is responsible for the air, wind, and Agni is responsible for the fire. So Surya is responsible for the heat and light and vegetation, cultivation of the processing of the fields. Moon, Chandra is responsible for the tides in the ocean and the taste of the vegetables, the fruits. So in this way, everyone is given some responsibilities to take care. But Hiranyakashipu, he attained so many powers by the blessing of Brahma that he started challenging the governmental affairs of the Lord. And he took control of everything. For example, if you sit in a room with an AC, you can control the remote. But for Hiranyakashipu, he doesn't require that. He can just keep his just raise his eyebrow over the Surya, the sun god. Immediately the sun reduces his temperature. And if he doesn't want night to come, the moon cannot rise in that place. Such is the control he kept. In fact, he made a plan that those who do sinful activities, they should be sent to the heavenly planet, Swarga. And those who do the papa, those who do the punya, pious activities of protecting the scriptures, protecting the cows, protecting the Brahmanical nature, culture, and protecting the women, such people should go to Naraka, hellish planets. He changed. He kept Yamaraj under his control. So, unfortunately, because of his durbuddhi, Hiranyakashipu challenged the entire aspect. So that time, at one specific time when Hiranyakashipu thought, I need to intensify my powers. So in order to intensify his powers, he went to perform tapasya, leaving his kingdom. And he kept his wife at home, and then he went alone to do tapasya. And taking this opportunity, all the devatas kidnapped the wife of Hiranyakashipu. So when they kidnapped her, the reason they kidnapped is she's pregnant. And they are very fearful that if father is only like this, how will son will be? So they were really fearful about the upcoming child. He must be more powerful than his father. And he may create a lot of havoc in the society. So they wanted to kill the child. So all the demigods, what they did, they kidnapped Kayadu, and they started taking with them. And they wanted to keep in the custody of Indra. We see that Indra is standing with the sword in his hand. And the the Kayadu is being dragged. So they thought we will kill. So they had no such durbuddhi of doing abortion. Many times, unfortunately, people lose control over sex, and because of which, when the consequence of that comes in the form of a child, around 45% of the population in India itself, they commit this crime of killing the baby within the womb. Devatas did not have that type of intention. So they were waiting for Kayadu to deliver the baby, and after baby delivered, they wanted to kill the baby because he may be very very powerful asura. As they were dragging. So I request, please mute your mics if you are running. It will distract the session. So then we see that when they dragged her to that place, behind Narada Muni came. You see, Narada is not a joking personality in the scriptures. Many times it is depicted like that. Narada is a very divine personality. By the mercy of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, he has the power to travel anywhere, as fast as the mind. Just imagine you are in New York. So your mind has went to New York. That is the speed of mind. So Narada is to travel at the speed of mind. But he has a purpose why he travels. He travels to give bhakti to people. So when Narada, being a great devotee, he understood that the child within the womb of Kayadu is not an ordinary child. Yes, he is powerful than his father, but that power is of devotion. So immediately he stopped with the Devatas. He told them, you cannot kill this child. They said, Arey, why Narada? Why you are coming and upsetting this plan? It may be very deadly. Already we are suffering with Hiranyakashipu. We want to kill it. Narada said, no. The child within the womb of Kayadu is a very great devotee. And his devotion is unparalleled. None of our devotion could be compared to his. And he will be the one who will going to deliver his father. So don't kill the baby. Protect Kayadu. Immediately, see, that is the difference between Asura and Asura. Asura, even after getting good instructions, they don't change. Many times we get good advisors from the devotees, but we hardly care for it. Arey, kya bol rahe wo? Karo na, kya problem hai? Itna kyun tension lete hai? हमारा life है, थोड़ा enjoy करने दीजिए. But the suras, the devatas, they were going to do a very criminal activity, but when they heard from Narada, they immediately kept faith. They kept faith on the sadhu. Immediately they accepted what Narada was saying. They immediately kept Kayadu on a throne, and all of them circumambulated Kayadu. They did production of Kayadu. They were actually thinking about the devotee Prahlad, devotee who is in the womb of that Kayadu. Such is the behavior of the devatas. And we see Narada being a great devotee, he can understand another devotee. He can understand who is a devotee and not a devotee. So, by the blessings and teachings of Narada Muni, Prahlad became a pure Mahabhagavat devotee of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. When Indra took Kayadu in Indraloka, in Swarga, Narada Muni used to regularly come and meet Kayadu. And actually, Narada Muni wanted to give attention to the child within the womb of Kayadu. So, at the time of conception only, the baby is alive. It is not it's a wrong concept that now after 3 months or after 4 months, the baby becomes conscious when heart comes. No. The baby is conscious from the day 1 when the egg is formed in the womb of mother. Is conscious. And the first organ which immediately becomes conscious for the is ears. They can hear everything. So Narada, keeping this in mind, he used to regularly come and discuss different glories of the Lord with Kayadu. And while discussing, his attention used to be on the baby in the womb. And in fact, one time when he was glorifying the Lord, Kayadu, generally when Harikatha happens, when you discuss some Harikatha, people naturally go to sleep. Nidra Devi comes and sits on the mind of a person and he goes to sleep. So Kayadu went to sleep while hearing Harikatha. But the child within the womb of Kayadu is hearing it. And he started telling, Hari, Hari. So actually, Narada could hear all this divine voice of that boy who is in the inside. So Narada continued to speak on the glories of Lord Hari. And soon, Kayadu gave birth to little boy Prahlad. Prahlad. This name was given under the blessings of Narada Muni only. Because Hiranyakashipu, even though he was controlling all the devatas, for him also Narada Muni is like a Ajata Shatru. He is the one who doesn't have any enemy, Narada. So he believed Narada, and he, the name which is given by the Narada, he kept it that way. Prahlada, one who gives joy to the heart. So this Prahlad started naturally taking up all the qualities which he heard from Narada while within the womb of his mother. Therefore, it's very important that we should start cultivating or caring for the child while he or she is in the womb only. Therefore, those devotees who become pregnant, they should absorb that time in taking a lot of good inputs of hearing about Krishna, hearing about Lord Ram, singing bhajans, singing Hare Krishna, kirtans in this way. That actually give a lot of good impressions to the baby in the womb. When the child comes, you can see there's a lot of difference. Very important. So it's very sensitive time, and therefore it should be taken care. So Hiranyakashipu, during the tapasya, he went and he was standing on the toes. With his raised hands, he was praying for the Brahma. So here you see Hiranyakashipu, everyone the name is befitting to that personality. Hiranya means gold. In Sanskrit, Hiranya means gold. And Kashipu means soft bed. So this gentleman, or you can say nowadays such gentlemen are many are there. So Hiranyakashipu was interested in these two things. That money and sex life. Soft bed represents sex life, and Hiranya represents the money, the possessions, the material possessions. So he is the man or a gentleman, according to the modern term. The one who is very much, his entire goal of life is to earn money, earn material possessions, and enjoy life. That was his whole target. That is the only thing which he has in the back of mind. And not only he wants that empire to be developed bigger and bigger. And for developing his empire bigger, he wants to take control of other people. And in that, if he has to compromise on any religious principles, he is ready for that. In fact, Hiranyakashipu ordered that all the yajnas to be stopped, which are worshipping Vishnu. He said, no, Vishnu should not be worshipped. People chant na Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Satyuga time, this was the mantra which they should chant. Om Namo Narayanaya. But he said, no, this mantra should not be chanted. So he said, there should be a chanting of Om Hiranyakashipaya Namaha, Om Hiranyakashipaya Namaha. He wanted his own name to be chanted, unfortunately. So we see that how You see how his entire consciousness was about his own self. He wanted to become the God. He wanted to take the position of the God. So you see, anyone who has this mentality, strong mentality of possessing material things, and for that sake, one is ready to compromise any religious principles, and is trying to keep a life focused on sense gratification. He is a follower of Hiranyakashipu. So history shows that such people could not make any history. They are only fallen to the deepest well of ignorance in the history. Therefore, we should learn from the history. And if you don't learn from the history, history repeats again. Therefore, it's very crucial from the life of Hiranyakashipu, we can understand what should not be done. So he did intense tapasya, intense austerities. Nowadays, you see people do a lot of austerities to get a lot of material things and enjoyment. They do a lot of austerities. They do a lot of hard work. They travel a lot. They compromise many things. Like Hiranyakashipu is compromised many things. His entire body becomes skinny. His skeletons are visible outside. But with that austerity, he created intense heat over his body. And that heat started affecting all the upper planetary system. Swarga, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Brahmaloka. And the rishis went to Brahma and told, Arey, specify this fellow. Otherwise, he will burn out all the higher planetary systems. And then immediately Brahma appeared there. Brahma appeared to Hiranyakashipu and he mentioned to Hiranyakashipu, Baba, why you are doing so much intense, painful austerities? See, we should do austerities, but they should be helping us to become what to call selfless towards other people, not create pain to others. So Hiranyakashipu, as soon as Brahma came, he said, I want to become immortal. I don't want to die. So Brahma said, I am not immortal. Soon or other time, I also have to die. I also die. I can't give you that benediction, which I can't personally have in my life. So then Hiranyakashipu thought, what I should ask, what should I ask? He wanted to cheat Brahma by intertwisting, or you can say word jugglery. Through word jugglery, he started asking many benedictions. He said, I should not be killed in the water. Brahma said, Tadastu. I should not be killed in the air. Tadastu. I should not be killed in the sky. Tadastu. I should not be killed in the day. Tadastu. Not in the night. Tadastu. In the, and then he said, I should not be killed by any human being. Tadastu. I should not be killed by any animals. Tadastu. So he got like that benedictions. And I should not be killed inside an house. Tadastu. I should not be killed outside the house. So he started asking, tricking. He wanted to trick the death. People nowadays also try, they want to trick the death. But unfortunately, nobody can trick it. And the death comes on one day, and fine day it comes in front of the face and tells, my dear sir, my dear madam, let's go now. And you have no option. You cannot bargain with it. You cannot argue with it. Nor you cannot request for a few more seconds. So Hiranyakashipu thought he will trick the death by taking such benediction. Brahma gave all these benedictions. Because Brahma's nature is tadastu. He always gives benedictions. He doesn't see whether the person is qualified or not. And he got so much power, his body got regained back. And he went and started even creating more havoc in the entire universe. And then he wanted to see his own beloved son. Every father wants his son to be like him or more than him. So he goes. So he goes and sees the small boy, 5-year-old boy Prahlad in his sabha. Because as soon as the Prahlad took birth, after some time of cultivation, the Devatas left Kayadu and Prahlad in the palace. Because they know that Hiranyakashipu is coming back. If he is coming back, they can't interfere in that aspect. So, but Hiranyakashipu thought his son would be very, I can make him the next Hiranyakashipu, no, number 2. Okay, na? King George 1, King George 2, King George 11, King George 12, like that. So King Hiranyakashipu 2, he wanted to make. So he called for Prahlad. So he asked Prahlad, what did you learn? You are now 5-year-old. You must have learned something from your father, mother, some things in the Gurukul. Please tell. So immediately, Prahlad, for the first time, he saw his father, Hiranyakashipu. Immediately paid prostrated obeisances. He gave Dandavat Pranam to his father. He said, my dear king of the demons, oh father, he started addressing. And Hiranyakashipu felt very proud when he's addressing him like that. He said, why you are wasting your time in attaining all these powers? Better that life should be given for the purpose of satisfying and pleasing Lord Vishnu. One should not waste his time in all these things, because time will take control over and one goes deep dark into the well of ignorance. So that was the very respectfully Prahlad started telling his father like this. And father became, Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu became so angry. He said, whole world, whole universe is surrendering to me, and this boy, how this 5-year-old small foolish boy is speaking such way to me. Immediately he called the 2 Gurukul teachers, Sanda and Amaraka. He called both of them. He said, what are you teaching him? Then they started telling, yes, we are teaching him the politics. We are teaching him the economics. We are teaching him how to do the business in various ways of very immoral ways. We are teaching all material education, what expertly needed for a person to take control over other people, to exploit the society. Such knowledge we are giving. And Prahlad is very attentively hearing all those classes. Then Hiranyakashipu asked, if he is attentively hearing, why he is speaking such things? From where he heard all this? Vishnu. I don't want name of Vishnu to be chanted anywhere in my house or in my kingdom. He said, oh, Chandamarka said, oh Lord, please give us some opportunity. We will teach Prahlad properly. So they took him back, Prahlad. And then Hiranyakashipu said, I want to see him changing into a pakka non-devotee. So many times it happens, that when you want to practice some devotional aspects, people around, sometimes your well-wishers, sometimes your friends, they become annoyed seeing, Arey, what practice you're doing? Why you're chanting mala? Why you're applying the tilak? Why you're not like us, normal? Enjoy life. Do the sinful activities. Continue the illicit aspects. People want. And if you don't do those things, they think that you are something pagal. So in this way, here we see that how Prahlad is being questioned and challenged by entire his family, entire the school, teachers and everyone. Just because he is taking the Vishnu's worship. Just because he is doing devotion to Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu became very unhappy about it and instructed Sanda and Amaraka to teach him properly. So what happened when Sanda Amaraka took him to the school and started, he said, from where did you learn all these things? He said, I heard from my guru Narada when I was in the womb of my mother. So then the Sanda Amaraka understood. Sanda and Amaraka are the very faithful sons of Shukracharya, who were given this service of teaching the modern education. The modern education and spiritual education, how they are different? Because modern education teaches one to maintain enemies, to maintain distance from enemies, to differentiate people, who is your enemy, who is your friend. Prahlad Maharaj did not like these concepts. He wanted that if there is bhakti, there is a devotion to the Lord, everyone else can be, kept in the one umbrella. That was his concept. So Prahlad Maharaj, instead of uh, uh, spending time playing with his friends in the school in the break time, so what he is to do is to start giving such spiritual classes like what we are having Friday Satsang. So every day he used to have Satsang. And Prahlad, the 5-year-old boy, used to speak to all the classmates how the life is very, very rare. Human form of life is very rare. Don't waste it. Just don't waste it. And then all the boys said, Arey Prahlad, let us enjoy. Let us play now. We will do later. So Prahlad said, what later? When you will do later, Bhakti? People say that. We tell devotee boys or devotee girls, please chant. I said, Prabhu, we'll do later. Let me get first fixed in my life, career and everything. Later we'll do. So Prahlad is answering this. Prahlad says, when the later will come, who is old? One whose proximity to death is that person is old. One is very close to death, but how you know whether you are close to death or not? Nobody knows. So naturally, everyone is old. When we say our age, what we say? We are 21-year-old, or 32-year-old, 50-year-old. We say old. We don't say young. Become old. So Prahlad is saying that, okay, you already wasted a lot of time. A normal human being, in a day, he sleeps for around 8 to 10 hours. In that way, compared that entire 100 years of life, 20 years he only sleep. And then he said, first 10 years of life or 15 years of life goes in confusion for a person. He plays and he enjoys and doesn't know what has to be done in the life and things. And as soon as he comes into youth, he starts thinking about, okay, I should do something. But in the youth, he gets captivated with the opposite sex. And in that, he spends another 20 years of life. Attraction for the opposite sex and education. Anchoring to make up education, make up the career. And like that, you see 40 years have gone. No, 60 years have gone. 20 years sleeping, 15 years in 35 years, 15 years in confusion, and next 10 years, that means 25, 50 years. 50 years have gone in this. And then he says, you are left with another 50 years. In that also, as soon as the old age comes, your entire body goes out of your control. Your mind is filled with anxiety. So you can imagine 20 years go there. The remaining 30 years. In those 30 years also, we waste, we eat, we do many other basic bodily activities. In that, some 10 years go. Only the left out with you is just a 20-year of time. So utilize it properly. That's what he gives a logic. And all the children, they actually think, yes, what he's saying is true. And Prahlad says you should not begin spiritual life at the later part. You should begin when you're 5-year-old. Kaumarat acharit pragno dharman bhagavata iva dullabam manusham janma tadapi arthatham. It said that at the Kaumara, at the age of 5, one should chant, one should start his spiritual life. Therefore, in our ISKCON, we have there's programs for the children, value education program. From age of 5 or 6, we recommend the parents to give the children a touch of spirituality, so that what happens, that samskaras become very deep when they are in childhood only. Because as you become more older, you get motivated or you get contaminated with many material things. And it becomes very tough for a person to accept spiritual life in the later parts. In childhood, they start, they become their slate is very clean. You can write it down properly. And such good impressions come on the when Hiranyakashipu saw that this boy is not changing, he started creating lot of troubles to the Prahlad. He thought, let me abuse him. Maybe by abusing him physically, he may come back on the track. So he appointed many of his his servants, Asuric servants, to torture Prahlad. But interestingly, Prahlad always was conscious of the presence of Lord Vishnu. He used to always take the name of Narayana. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. When these people were torturing with the swords, with the trishuls, with the snake bite, many things they were trying to do him, such thing did not harmed Prahlad Maharaj. And they went to King Hiranyakashipu and told, we are unable to do any harm to him. In fact, when the snake goes in front of him, the snake coils back and goes away, seeing the very beautiful, divinely form of Prahlad. No type of punishment is becoming successful on your son. And Hiranyakashipu is first time feeling failure in life. Till now, all success he got. Nobody could challenge his position. And first time he is finding that challenge from a small boy. Therefore, we should not underestimate. कोई छोटा होता है ना, उनको आप अंडरस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते. छोटे के पास जब बड़े की हाथ होता है, प्रहलाद के पीछे किनका हाथ है? भगवान के स्वयं हाथ है. तो उनको छोटा नहीं समझना चाहिए. So, and at one time, Hiranyakashipu said, okay, go him and throw him into the river, into the samudra, and keep a mountain over him. So then when they were taking Prahlad Maharaj was absorbed in chanting the names of Lord Vishnu. He was not disturbed with any of these aspects. So all the servants were annoyed. Arey, kuch to aapka expression dikhaiye, fear. He said, no, I am seeing Lord Vishnu in front of me. So they took him into the cliff of the mountain and they threw him. When they were throwing him, Prahlad was not praying, oh Lord, please come and protect me. When you are falling from a cliff, you want Lord to come and protect it. He was feeling that, okay, if it is destined that I had to die, let me die. But let me remember Vishnu. And if I am to be protected, Krishna will, Lord Krishna will anyway come and protect me. Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake ke. If Krishna wanted to protect, who can kill such person? And if Krishna wants to kill a person, who can protect him? So then when he's falling the cliff, he was just remembering Lord. And we see Lord Vishnu he caught him in the in the samudra and protected him and reinstated back him in the palace of Hiranyakashipu. And then all the servants were annoyed. Why? How he came back? So these all things created a lot of disturbance. Another disturbance which finally Hiranyakashipu ordered that he should be crushed by the very deadly and dangerous elephant. And that time Prahlad was made to sit and they was meditating on Vishnu. And that elephant came and about to crush Prahlad. But there is Paramatma in the heart of elephant. There is a Paramatma. And because of the presence of Paramatma, Paramatma gave the indication to elephant that he is my devotee. You cannot harm him. Immediately, that elephant killed the servants who were bringing him and came in front of Prahlad and offered obeisances and went away. So that is very interesting fact we see in Prahlad Maharaj. When he was going through problems, He was not trying to solve the problems. He was trying to transcend the problems. Many times we spend our time in solving the problem, and sometimes the problems are beyond your control. You can't do much about it. Therefore, we should transcend the problems. By transcending, by raising your consciousness. You should raise your consciousness by practicing of the devotional practice like chanting, hearing, reading, remembering. Therefore, we see that Prahlad Maharaj was personally practicing this Navavida Bhakti. Shravanam Ketanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Achanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So Prahlad was constantly remembering. So at one time he was kept in the pool of the snakes. Prahlad was convinced that if Lord Vishnu has to protect him, none of the snakes can bite him. Then he was protected. The snakes also have Paramatma in their heart. They could understand this aspect. In this way, this is what he is destined to die. The way the situation arranged by Hiranyakashipu, who kept even Yamaraj under his control, all the devatas, he made a plan that means Prahlad must die. But we see that love which he has, and interestingly, the beloved, the Lord has not appeared till now in front of him, but Prahlad was convinced from heart. So Krishna's reciprocation is very dynamic. How the devotee gets the reciprocation, you can never imagine. So Prahlad got the reciprocation within the heart. Within the heart, and especially got the reciprocation by seeing how in the dangers Krishna's hand is there, how he's protected from all the dangers. He saw not the danger, he saw there's a hand of Lord coming behind the danger to protect him from the danger. So that increased his conviction and faith in the Lord. So there was a very dynamic reciprocation between the Lord and his devotee. Till now, Prahlad, actually speaking, physically might not have seen Lord Vishnu. He saw Narada Muni, but he has a faith. Therefore, seeing is not very important. You serve Krishna in such a way that Krishna wants to see you. No, don't try to see Krishna. Where is God? I want to see. Where is the proof? It's a nonsense. You go and tell, I want to see Narendra Modi right now in my home. No. First become qualified for in that role. You become qualified in such a way that Narendra Modi personally wants to come and meet you. So that is what the devotion means. Prahlad did such a devotional exhibition of his devotional surrender, what he exhibited, that Lord is soon going to appear in front of him. So that is what the loving reciprocation. The beloved is not thinking, Arey, my lover is not coming and protecting me. He has the full conviction the lover is there. That love for the Lord is sufficient for him to sustain. It's not about coming in union of that beloved. He wants to be, Prahlad was having so much love. That love itself is protecting him. That bhakti, the devotion to Krishna is protecting him. Krishna's presence is not, physical presence is not expected even by Prahlad Maharaj. Later on, again, lastly, Hiranyakashipu, finding failure of, unable to get him on anything, he called him. He said, "Oh Prahlad, I am feeling very ashamed to have a son like you." He was feeling ashamed to have a son like him. So Hiranyakashipu said, how you appeared in my family? You are having the same blood like me. But what happened to you? From where you are getting this power? In fact, Hiranyakashipu arranged Kayadu to feed him poison. Can you imagine? Hiranyakashipu arranged the mother only to feed poison to his child. And he happily drank the poison. Because in the poison, he is not seeing poison, he saw Vishnu in that. So he drank it and nothing happened to him. Certainly, you require such faith in order to take such challenges. You should not go and jump from the, from a big building and expect Krishna to protect you. It's not that Prahlad was arranging all these situations to himself. Things came upon him in the matter of destiny, you can say, were given to him. In that situations, he continued to remain faithful to the Lord, and especially to the devotional service bhakti. It's a very important point we should understand. We should not try to calm ourselves and expect Krishna to protect. We sometimes we do some certain activities, and the reaction of it when it comes, we say, "Where is Krishna? He's not protecting me." No, who told you to do the wrong activities? So you remain pure, and in spite of this metro world will create situations in your life where you are challenged. And that time, when you are challenged by the destiny, the only thing which will protect you from that is love. And love is not for a woman or a man. No, man for woman, woman for man or something. This love is for the God. Swartha Gatim hi Vishnu. Everyone's personal interest is in Lord Vishnu. But people don't realize this fact. By practicing chanting, associating with devotees like this, actually we will reminded of that, our connection with Krishna. And Prahlad was secured, feeling very secured in spite of all these dangers, because of that connection to Krishna. And so these are the Prahlad's teachings to his childhood schoolmates. He says, please repeat after me this one. Kaumara acharat pragno dharman bhagavataniha durlabam manusham janma tadyapi yadruvam ardatam. He says, use the human form of body from childhood. Prahlad is teaching to school to practice activities of devotional service. The human body is most rarely achieved. It's a very rarely achieved form. It's not that in every lifetime you get human form only. Maybe all of you got this human form after passing through many animal lives. And after acquiring that punya, you got into this human form. And especially most of you might have taken birth in the Bharata Bhumi, the India, where the dharma is very strongly there. You are fortunate to be like that. And more fortunate that you came in contact with devotees. And in the contact devotees, if you don't take seriously the chanting, how unfortunate you can be. After getting so many fortunate things, if you don't take seriously the bhakti, then you are most unfortunate. He said that unfortunate people are those who never got devotee sangha. And fortunate are the people who got the devotee sangha. And the most unfortunate are the people who got the sangha of devotees, but is not taken seriously. Arey chalta rehta hai, ye kya itna karenge. So therefore Prahlad is telling human body is most rarely achieved. Durlabam manusham janma. Although temporary, it is meaningful because it's human life, one can perform devotional service. Even though it is temporary, human form only remains for average 70 years. Even though it's temporary, it is meaningful because you can use that form in devotional service. So it's only human form you can perform bhakti very intensely. Yes, it's not that other animals cannot perform, but you have that ability to think and surrender to the Lord. So human form, one has a chance to return back to Godhead. Therefore, a human being must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. The devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu is the most beloved, the master of the soul. Esha sarva bhutanam priya atmeshwara suharit. He is the well-wisher, he is Atmeshwara, he is the master of all the souls. And Esha sarva bhutanam. So he is very dear to devotees. He is the master of everyone and he is the well-wisher of everyone. Therefore, we should worship the Lord Vishnu. That is what the instruction Prahlad is giving to his followers. Like that, he gives many instructions. And Prahlad Maharaj, he saw no distinction between enemy and friend because in everyone's heart he saw Paramatma. So he could not think, okay, his enemy is a friend. He started dealing with them. Certainly, those who don't like him, he kept distance from them, but he never considered them enemies. And those who are favorable, he gave time to them. So Prahlad Maharaj was very a Bhagavad devotee, Mahabhagavad devotee. He could see the people like that. Therefore, he did not like politics, what you called bureaucracy, or democracy, like such aspects. He did not like it. He wanted there should be a communism. What communism? Krishna communism. Krishna is the master of everyone, and everyone is equal from that perspective. That communism without Krishna is useless. There should be Krishna communism. And Prahlad taught that principle. And he started ruling the kingdom after Hiranyakashipu, he maintained same principles while ruling the kingdom. And finally, Hiranyakashipu became very annoyed with Prahlad. And he started asking, from where are you getting this strength? And immediately Prahlad, with folded hands, he told Hiranyakashipu, oh my dear demoniac father. Actually, he used to address him in a way Hiranyakashipu feels very proud of it. But he used to give him a very respectfully, he used to give him the spiritual instructions. By the way, we should not deal such way with our parents or our relatives or friends. Because we are not a devotee like Prahlad, nor our family or relatives are not like Hiranyakashipu. So we should have a very respect, politeful dealings with our relatives, family and friends. So that they appreciate that you are practicing devotional service. They should not become annoyed with your practice of devotional service. ये भक्ति करते और इतना झगड़ा करते घर पे बैठ के और इस तरह की डीलिंग करते. No, you should be a perfect gentleman and gentle ladies. No, when you are practicing devotional service, you should try to see how much we give puja to them. And it's not that you have to compromise your religious principles or bhakti principles. So therefore, here we see that Prahlad very faithfully, respectfully, he told his father, my dear father, I get strength from the same person who is giving you the strength to rule over. So Hiranyakashipu became very, very annoyed, embarrassed hearing this statement. He said, अरे मैंने कमाया ये शक्ति, मेरे को कोई दिया नहीं, मैं खुद कमाया ये शक्ति, the power. आप कौन है कहने के लिए कोई और मेरे को शक्ति दिया? प्रहलाद says, नहीं. All this strength, what you are having all these years, ruling over, controlling everything, this has come from Vishnu only. And the same Vishnu is giving me strength. So he became very disturbed. Where is your Vishnu? Show me. I want to kill him. So immediately, I want to see that whether he comes in front of you. You say, Vishnu, Vishnu. So many times you're taking, I'm very fed up with your taking the chanting of name. Where is your Vishnu? And that is the time. Prahlad Maharaj, he said, he is everywhere. He is in our heart also, he is in my heart also, he is everywhere. So Hiranyakashipu said, this is nonsense. Tell me, is he in the pillar? He asked him whether he is in the pillar. I think somebody's mic is on. Please mute it. Rahul, you need to mute yourself. Yeah. So because Hiranyakashipu was confident that he made the building, he used the cement, he used the iron bars and everything, made the pillar. He was very confident that in the pillar there would not be God. He asked, is he your God in the pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj saw the pillar. And he saw the pillar and he started smiling. He said, yes, Lord, my Lord is there in that pillar. Immediately, he took out his sword, Hiranyakashipu. He took out his sword and started hitting very hardly on the pillar. He wanted to see that where your God is there, tell him to come out. I will kill him. And that is the time this very beautiful verse comes. All of you, please read. Please follow me. This is from the verse number. व्याप्तिं च भूतेषु अखिलेषु चात्मनः अदृश्यतात्यद्भुतरूपमुद्वहान् स्तम्भे सभायं न मृगं न मानुषं स्तम्भे सभायं न मृगं न मानुषं. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial. What happened? In other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Na mrigam, na manusham. So when Prahlad Maharaj pointed, he pointed to the pillar and he mentioned, Father, my Lord is there. So immediately Vishnu, who was there, he saw the confidence of Lord Prahlad. So he said, how can I disprove the words of my devotee Prahlad? So immediately Lord appeared in the pillar. And he appeared in the pillar, and when Hiranyakashipu broke the pillar, he saw a very wonderful personality came out. In the beginning, Hiranyakashipu thought, who is this person? ऐसा एक personality कभी देखा नहीं मैंने. Such a huge form. You see in this photo? Such a huge form he has. He has his 4 hands. Chaturbhuja. Moving around with sharp nails. And he's having the half part like a lion, half part like a man. Before you could sense out who is this person, Narasimha. Nara means human, Simha means lion. The lion man, the lion god. The lion god appeared out. See the reciprocation of Lord. Now Prahlad said, my God is there. Now Prahlad might have heard about the beautiful form of Lord Vishnu. From Narada Muni. He certainly might have heard Chaturbhuja Vishnu. Shantakaram Bhujagasayanam Padmanabha Suresham. So Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu has a very beautiful form. Shantakaram Bhujagasayanam Padmanabha Suresham. Megavaranam Subhangam. Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam. Yogi Dhyana Gamyam. Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarva Lokaikanatham. So Lord Vishnu has a very beautiful form. But from the pillar, the person who came, nobody could identify him. Nobody saw such person before. But Prahlad had full faith because his faith is in the Lord. So in whatever form Lord came, he could recognize him immediately. Just like you see when a baby takes birth, it cannot open the eyes and see who is the person. It cannot identify which person is who. But you see that baby, as soon as it gets into the lap of his mother, by that touch, he can understand she is my mother. So that ability the children have. So similarly, Prahlad could sense, my Lord has come, such a beautiful form, such attractive, and never in the history, never in the future such form will be there. He appeared in that form, but Hiranyakashipu had a tough time understanding which person is there. And there was a big fight happened between both. Because Lord also want to fight. Because fighting rasa is there with Lord also. He also want to enjoy that fighting spirit. But with whom he will fight? So he, like a king, sometimes has Malla Yuddhas. He arranges for people, wrestlers, and he starts fighting with them. So like that, Lord arranged Hiranyakashipu's presence so that he could fight with someone. and he started fighting. That fight went very vigorously between Hiranyakashipu and Narasimha. Just like a cat plays with a mouse before killing it. So Lord Narasimha started playing with mouse like Hiranyakashipu for some time, where it appeared that Lord Narasimha was getting defeated sometimes. And Lord, that fight went so amazingly. And all the other friends of Hiranyakashipu, associates of Hiranyakashipu, were there in that assembly hall. They were all seeing this. What is happening? How can we how can we come into this picture? Should we wait for the Hiranyakashipu to win over Narasimha, or what we should do? They could not understand. And the Lord was roaring so loudly that some of the demons, they got heart attack and died there. So his roar was so loud. But Prahlad, nothing happened to Prahlad. Can you imagine? His roar is shattering the hearts of the demons, but nothing happened to Prahlad's small ears, very sensitive ears. That is the power of the Lord. And he has such a sharp nails. His tongue was is coming out like a snake and trying to lick the blood of the Hiranyakashipu. Like a lion, it looking for tasting the blood of a human. It wanders here and there like that. Narasimha was wandering here and there and holding Hiranyakashipu and throwing him. Holding with Hiranyakashipu and throwing him. Like that, he played for a quiet time. Actually, he appeared in the afternoon time. So Narasimha appeared in the afternoon time, but he was waiting. He was waiting for the right time and the right place to come. You know why? Because this is Mayapur Narasimha. You see that form here, the two hands which Narasimha is keeping in front like this. He is coming out of the pillar. He is coming out of the pillar to attack Hiranyakashipu. He was so angry. Why is he angry? He is angry because he just saw the pain which his beloved Prahlad went through. This devotee Prahlad, how much suffering he went through. And the cause of that suffering is Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, Lord cannot tolerate any pain to his devotees. He will certainly come in that angry form and destroy the sinful people who are creating trouble in the life of the devotees. So Narasimha appeared. And then Narasimha started playing with Hiranyakashipu for a quite time. Quite some time. The reason is Brahma gave the benedictions to Narasimha, to Hiranyakashipu, that he will not be killed in the day, not in the night. So Lord Narasimha was waiting for the dusk, for the sun to set, evening time, during the dawn. He's waiting for that particular time. And then he said, I should not be killed in the killed in the water, nor in the air, nor in the sky. So Lord Narasimha, what he did? He took Hiranyakashipu. He took the Hiranyakashipu on his lap. And Hiranyakashipu said to Brahma that I should not be killed in the house, nor outside the house. So Lord Narasimha took him on the door of Hiranyakashipu's palace, and he sat there. And he said, I should not be killed by any weapon. So Lord Narasimha used his sharp nails. He used his sharp nails. With his sharp nails, he started tearing the intestine of Hiranyakashipu. And he said, well, Hiranyakashipu told Brahma that I should not be killed by human being nor any animal. Therefore, Lord came in this beautiful form of Narahari, a form which is which can never ever in the future or in the history one can see. Such a beautiful form. Narahari, Narasimha appeared. You see, when love is there, it can deny the destiny. It can defy the destiny. Hiranyakashipu is destined to live. Hiranyakashipu was destined to live. Amara, if you are supposed to be remain Amara, But Lord Nrsingadev's love for his devotee has challenged the destiny of Hiranyakashipu. In this way, we see that Lord, he kept the words of Lord Brahma also into picture. So Lord, with one action, he fulfills the desires of many devotees. Not only Prahlad Maharaj was protected, but also Brahma's words were, benedictions were kept intact. And then Lord Nrsimhadev becomes so angry, upset with Hiranyakashipu, he started tearing, and with his tongue he started licking the blood, drinking the blood, and taking out the intestine, the large intestine of Hiranyakashipu outside, and he kept the intestine as a garland over his own body. So deadly. Even Lakshmi and everyone who is observing this, they all became very fearful. Brahma told Lakshmi, have you seen your husband so angry like this? He said, I'm not able to recognize him. He doesn't appear like my husband Vishnu. Who is this person? And Brahma told, oh, Lakshmi, you go and pacify him. He said, I can't go in front of him. He's so angry, he may kill me also. When Brahma asked, who will go? Then everyone pointed to Prahlad. Are Prahlad, because of you only the Lord has come in this way. Lion may be angry on the prey and start tearing the stomach of the prey and take out the intestine and eat it. But when the cubs come in front of the lion becomes very motherly. And the mother lion licks the body of the cub. So the Brahma said, oh, Prahlad, you go and pacify the Lord. But Lord was not getting pacified. He's so angry. He started garlanding himself with that intestine of Hiranyakashipu to say that from this intestine only Prahlad came out. From this intestine only Prahlad came out. Therefore, he started glorifying Prahlad by garlanding himself with the intestine of Hiranyakashipu. Such is the dynamic expression of Lord's love for his devotee. In this way, we see Lord Nrsingadev's reciprocation. And after that, all other kings, they all started coming to attack Nrsingadev. No, they are fool. They can't understand how powerful the Lord Nrsingadev is. But still, just like a moths enter the fire foolishly, all these kings started entering and attacking Lord Nrsingadev. And Lord Nrsingadev manifested his Ugra, more very deadly form with all his arms. He started moving his hands here and there, and with that movement of his sharp nails, all the kings, all the demonic kings who were assisting Hiranyakashipu in all the sinful activities, their bodies are getting bifurcated, or they're getting teared, and the heads are going here and there, blood is oozing out. In this way, Lord killed all of them within a matter of seconds. And then after taking out the heart of Hiranyakashipu and drinking the blood, he threw the body out. And in this way, Nrsingadev, and then you see here, Brahma and everyone, Lakshmi, everyone requesting Prahlad to go and pacify the Lord. Even after killing so much, still Lord is not getting pacified. So Prahlad goes very humbly in front of the Lord, and Lord sees him, and Prahlad starts offering prayers. The first prayer he offers to Lord is, I would like to express my gratitude to Narada. It is Narada, my Guru, who has given me the knowledge of you. And he is the Narada who gave me the devotion to you. Lord becomes so happy hearing this statement from Prahlad. He said, my father did so many deadly things. Oh Lord, please deliver him. And Lord said, actually, he got delivered. Don't worry, because he's connected to you, is already delivered. Not only he, 14 generations of Prahlad, your 14 generations of your family, they all get delivered because you are a devotee. Therefore, we should try to be devotee in order to deliver our families. 14 generations of families could be delivered. So this was the benediction which Lord Narasimha gave to devotees. And then Lord took Prahlad Maharaj in his lap and started licking him, like a lion licks the cub. All types of reciprocation Lord did with Prahlad Maharaj. And immediately that time, Prahlad was enthroned as the king of that entire kingdom. And then under the very saintly king Prahlad, just the age of 5, he took up the responsibilities. And whole the demonic people who are there, they started practicing devotional service. So in the modern world, you required kings like Prahlad Maharaj. You see, Brahma is enthroning him. And you see Lord Shiva, Brihaspati, everyone is there around. They are all giving blessings to Prahlad Maharaj so that he could rule over the kingdom. So I would like to end here and conclude on the very amazing personality, Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this opportunity to practice devotional service. Prabhupada is a representative of Narada, who is coming and trying to bring us out from this deadly kingdom of Hiranyakashipu in which we are there, by giving us the devotion. And following in the footsteps of the Mahabhagavat Prahlad Maharaj, we all should take it very seriously, the practice of devotional service, and go ahead in our life. I thank everyone for giving your valuable time. Hare Krishna. So anyone has any things to share or a question, please. We have 2 minutes here. Yeah, Poco Gopal. Okay. When Gopal Prabhu has given one question here. Yeah. Force of habit in old age. I did not understood what it meant. I heard that only Lord Shiva advised Prahlad to calm down the Lord. In fact, he was Jaya Vijay. So deliverance was Leela. Yeah, there are 2 aspects you have to understand. That, yeah, Jaya Vijay have come in 3 births. First, they came as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and they came as Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and they came as Shishupal and Dantavakra. In Krishna Lila, Ram Lila, Narasimha Lila. They came like that. But it is for the purpose of 2 things. Lord wants to have fighting spirit, so he in the Lila. But other thing is that through these examples, Lord wants to show that how when you are a demoniac like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, you cannot progress in life. The history has shown that such people go down deep into ignorance in the history. You see the case of Hitler, how long he could continue. He committed suicide at the end. So we see that anyone goes against the Vedic principles is doomed to very deadly death. Therefore, we should learn from such lives which are given and try to get the lessons very clear. So in the instruction, yeah, in Prahlad was advised by all these devotees. It was Brahma who used to take the lead, and Shiva, because Brahma was responsible for Hiranyakashipu's power and position. So when the entire episode happened, Brahma naturally took up that role of chairing the entire situation. So in order to pacify the Lord, it was Brahma who has asked Prahlad Maharaj. And certainly, Shiva is not an ordinary personality. He is not like Brahma. Brahma is a Jiva Tattva. Lord Shiva is a Shambhu Tattva. Being a Shambhu Tattva, his main absorption was in devotion. He doesn't get into managements. In Daksha Yagna also we see that Lord Shiva always absorbed in devotion. He absorbed in chanting the names of Lord Ram. So in that way we see that aspect here. I think Komal Rohilla, Hare Krishna. So you are asking question that whose incarnation is Yashoda Maya? Actually, Yashoda Maya is eternally the mother of Krishna in spiritual world. We have to understand there are 2 types of entities, Nitya Siddha and Nitya Baddha. Nitya Siddha are those who eternally remain with the Lord in a particular relationship, and they come to this world also for performing those activities. Because when Lord comes, he doesn't come alone. He calls his intimate associates to come and enact the pastimes to attract all of us who are Nitya Baddha. We are Nitya Baddha. That means we have a relation with Krishna of some in some particular way in spiritual world, but we forgot it. We did not wanted it, so we came to this material world, and we are occupied with material anarthas and everything. By practicing sadhana, we become free from this Nitya Baddha. We are conditioned souls. By practicing devotion, we can go back to spiritual world. But Nitya Siddha are those who never come under material conditions. So Yashoda was eternally the mother of, and that Yashoda has taken the, we can say that Yashoda has taken the form, expanded as Mother Kaushalya for Lord Ram, and that Mother Yashoda expanded as Sachi Mata for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that. So this is the okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I thank every participants here, and yeah, okay. We will.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki
Jai.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Jai.
I think we should sing Narasimha Arati. If you all
Yes,
have 5 minutes, we will sing Narasimha Arati, which glorifies the incarnation of Lord Narasimha Dev. How many of you know Narasimha Arati in this? Otherwise, I have to share them.
2 lines, Prabhuji, only.
Huh?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, only 2 lines.
Only? Okay, 2 lines you know, na? Okay, I am opening the lyrics. Yeah. So I will share here. Yeah, you're able to see now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Ji, Prabhuji.
So please recite after me. This is a beautiful prayer every day devotees offer, and Prabhupada wanted for the protection of devotees, they should every day sing this song, because Lord Narasimha comes to protect devotees from dangers. So we should sing this song of Narasimha. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya,
Simhaya.
Prahlad Lada Daine, Prahlad
Tula tula
Hiranyakashi Purvaksha,
Hiranyakashi Purvachaha
Shilatanka Nakalaye,
Tilakanka Nakalaye.
Namaste Narasimha, glory to Lord Narasimha, Prahlad Lada Dayine. He has come exclusively to give joy to Prahlad. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. He has bifurcated the body of Lord King Hiranyakashipu. That's by his strong sharp blade. Narasimha.
उन्हें तेज आज करके भूजी है काज निकाले आ गए बस
Parato Narasimha. Yato
Yato Nashima Parato Nashima
Yato Yami Tato Narasimha.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Nashima
Vahe Narasimha Hridaya Narasimha Narasimha
Vahir
Madev
Nashima Hridaye Nashima
Narasimha Madev Sharanam Prapade
Narasimha Made Saranam Papate.
So this is what Narasimha did. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Lord Narasimha is here also. Lord Narasimha is other place also. Yato yato yami tato Narasimha. Wherever I see, there is Narasimha. So many devotees question this. So Prahlad was seeing Narasimha from beginning only. Like when you remember Vishnu, Raj is saying Lord Narasimha. To answer it to this is yes and maybe both. Because yes, in the perspective, because when Lord came, for example, somebody you love very much, whatever form they may come in front of you, immediately recognize them. Because you have that attraction. Similarly, it is maybe because previous to that, one time where Lord protected Prahlad by catching him down the mountain, that time Prahlad requested, "Oh Lord, I came to know that my father's brother Hiranyaksha was killed by you in the form of Varaha. I would like to see that form." So Lord that time manifested Varaha Narasimha form. Varaha killed Hiranyaksha, and Narasimha Dev is going to come and kill Hiranyakashipu. So that time Prahlad already saw Narasimha also, along with Varaha Dev. This is a very beautiful place in South India and Simhachalam, where you can visit on the mountain top. It is there, this place, Varaha Narasimha Kshetra. So Lord is yato yato yami tato Narasimha. Bahir Narasimha, Hridaye Narasimha. Lord is outside also, Lord is inside my heart also. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. To that Lord Narasimha I offer my surrender. I will surrender to him. So we should able to recognize Lord's presence everywhere. Is there in your Prabhupada? And then very beautiful verse, which was written by Jayadev Goswami. There comes the third para of Narasimha prayers. Tavakara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Vare
Kamalavare Naka
Adbhuta
Adbhuta
Shringa
Shringa Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Binga Keshavita Narahari Rupa Jajagadish Hare Jajagadish Hare Jagadish Hare
Jaya Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev, Narasimha Dev, Jaya Narasimha Dev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. His hands were like lotus, very soft, but his nails were like thunder, very sharp. They bifurcated the body of Hiranyakashipu into parts, took out the heart, drank the blood, licking the blood which was coming out of his mouth, and his the hair, or the veins over the Lord Narasimha, they started flowing on all directions in such a way that the clouds in the sky started moving here and there. Everyone become fearful, but Lord, that Lord was so beautiful. Only Prahlad could immediately sense and made that connection because of his devotion. Soon other devotees also developed attraction. Therefore, his most attractive Lord is Narasimha. And actually, that love we should cultivate, what Prahlad has. And that love alone can defy destiny. Not ordinary love, or which just take the form of a lust between a man and woman. That is simply a mind game. That can't take you out of destiny. Rather, it increases one's conditioning in the material world. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for all of your patient hearing. So we will.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavad
Krishna,
pranam, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.